Hello everyone. This is chapter 1 of my novel, 40 Days. So without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 1. Here I am at the Havencrest Mall. I honestly don't know how my sister, Mia Winterfield, managed to drag me into her shenanigans once again. Bribery is something I'll never understand. It's always, if you take me to go clothes shopping, I'll buy you an ice cream at the food court. She never stays true to her word, yet I eat it up every time. Being 17 and legally allowed to drive, living with a 14-year-old middle school sister is the worst. I'm basically a chauffeur who doesn't get paid, driving her friends around to parks and stores. Mia is a needy person, and she'll do anything to get what she wants, including using me until I'm worn down to a shell of the person I once was. I stepped out of my black Nissan, exposed to the heat of the northwestern summer, and followed closely behind my sister. She was glammed up, like always, wearing a hot pink top and jeans. Designer sunglasses rested atop her head and framed the side of her face nicely. I must admit, I was a bit jealous. "So, where are we off to first?" I asked. "I need to get some perfume for back to school and a few new tops, maybe some nice jewelry, bath bombs, and a bit of decor for my room. Slow down, one thing at a time. Also, I don't think Mom's going to be very happy when you come home with a cart full of t-shirts and other useless junk." "Chill out, Stella. I have self-control," she snapped. "Yep, sure you do," I said, popping the pea. As we walked toward the entrance of the mall, we passed by the nostalgic Havencrest podium. It brought back a wave of memories from my childhood when Mia and I would go shopping with our grandma, taking pictures on Santa's lap during the winter and eating junky burgers at the food court. I miss the times when our relationship was simpler. We've been through some rough patches together, but the mall is always the place where we could forget about those problems, laughing as if we were little kids again. Stepping inside, the shopping center was a beautiful utopia of intricate architecture and trendy stores. Large glass ceilings stretched across the top of the structure, allowing natural sunlight to shine throughout. Meanwhile, rows of small shops displaying mannequins and decorative jewelry, trinkets, and tiny treats flashed amidst the wave of customers. It was a large-scale building consisting of faceted gemstones which twinkled in gleamed shades of gold, while chiseled travertine tiles accentuated the classy atmosphere. Elaborate arches curved the building into a similar form to that of a geodesic dome, as its large plaza made way for a pleasurable and spacious environment. The smell of deep-fried donuts and burgers on the grill immediately took over my senses, making my stomach growl with a growing hunger. However, Mia was insistent that we follow the plan and buy what she was there for. I followed her around the first floor for a bit until we stopped at a quaint perfume shop. The outside was covered in an abundance of carnations and light chrysanthemums, and it smelled of sea salt, like a fresh ocean breeze. On the inside, pastel pink walls complemented the bottles of perfume stacked upon the shelves, being illuminated by a twisty string of fairy lights. The store was nothing short of cozy. I let my sister wander around at her own discretion while I decided to peruse through the myriad of scents myself, captivated by the energy in the room. Botanical garden, salt box, wax flower, strawberry fields, all unique perfumes which smelled comforting and left me with a fuzzy feeling in my chest. Suddenly, as I scanned the rows of spray-ons and body glitter, I was interrupted by a light tap on my shoulder. "Done shopping already?" I asked, expecting to see my sister. Instead, when I turned around, I saw an unfamiliar girl around my age with short brown hair, wearing a sage green colored blouse and brown button-up jeans. Definitely not Mia. I gave her a knowing laugh and shook my head in embarrassment. "Sorry, I thought you were someone else." "That's fine. I actually wanted to ask if you had any perfume recommendations. It's my first time shopping here, and I don't know which one to buy," she questioned. I furrowed my eyebrows and let out a confused chuckle. "I'm just as lost as you are. It's my first time here as well, but if I had to give you my unprofessional opinion, I'd say wax flower is pretty good." She smiled at my response. "Thanks." "Yeah, no problem, but don't rely on me. That one over there in the pink is my sister Mia. She kind of dragged me in here." "Sorry, I can't relate, being an only child and all. I'm sure your recommendation is better than anything I'd come up with on my own." We both continued like this, making small talk for a while and forgetting about the world around us. "By the way, my name's Eliana Jones. I've been trying to make some new friends around the area, so maybe we can exchange numbers if you want and come to the mall another time," she said, reaching for her phone. "For sure, that sounds great," I responded, taking her phone and typing my number into the keypad. "I'm Stella, by the way." Suddenly, Mia appeared and said she was ready to check out. I waved goodbye to Eliana, my sister eyeing me with a "who is that" face. I simply shrugged and said I would tell her when we got home. Home. The word sounded so foreign to me, I didn't even know what it meant anymore. My dad died a few months ago, and on top of that, my mom got fired from her job, leaving me to be the only source of income for the family until she was able to get back on her feet. I worked 20 hours a week at a local retail store while still managing A+ grades in school. I was stressed out. I wanted to be anywhere but home because home for me was just another stressful place. Thankfully, Mom got a new job, which meant that we didn't have to completely cut out on spending anymore, hence why Mia saved up to go to the mall. But things still weren't good. My mom was awake at ungodly hours of the night, living off of wine and other liquor. We were so stressed all the time. And now, with me about to start my senior year in high school, the pressure had only gotten worse. I wish I could be anywhere but home. So, Little Miss Popular is making friends everywhere she goes, huh? My sister smirked as we continued to wander the floors of the mall. Oh shush, don't act like you haven't done the same, I joked. But in reality, my voice was tinged with a hint of seriousness. Mia attracted people everywhere she went, with her trendy clothing style and bubbly mannerisms. Many of her friendships came from random encounters, a product of her charm and outgoing personality. I couldn't exactly relate. My introverted manner made me come off as rude and uninterested in the people around me, a stark contrast to my boisterous sibling. She was even pretty well known by the people in my own high school, as I was occasionally referred to as Mia's sister. Such is the life of Stella Winterfield. After we were done at the perfume shop, Mia suggested we go looking for clothes, or rather, she goes looking for clothes. Her favorite store was located on the second floor of the building. As we rode the escalator to the top, I decided to fill her in. That girl, her name's Eliana, she was asking me for scent recommendations, and we sort of just got into a conversation. I gave her my number so we can hang out sometime. She said she wanted to make some friends in the area. Dummy, she didn't want any recommendations. She was just trying to socialize. It's the oldest scheme in the book, replied Mia. Or maybe she just needed help. Not everybody's like you. Okay, but did you actually see her take your advice? No, but... My voice trailed off. Exactly, no buts. She cut me off. Our conversation was short-lived as we finally arrived outside of the clothing store. It had a distinctly different vibe from the perfume shop. Bright neon lights framed the windows and doorways, contrasting the black exterior. Meanwhile, the inside was a hot pink paradise and consisted of retro t-shirts and blinged-out crop tops. Strong smells of vanilla gave the room a rather bold atmosphere, a feeling that my sister emitted on a daily basis. I could see why she liked this place so much. Immediately, Mia rushed over to the new arrivals and eyed a plethora of trendy shirts. A pink crop top covered in white hearts, a black and white checkered jacket, an ugly yellow sweatshirt, and a hot pink tee with an image of a distorted smile. She grabbed all that she could, practically juggling each item in her hands. Maybe you should put some stuff back, I suggested. No, I need to try them all. I mean, what if I looked amazing in this? She asked while holding up another tee over her outfit. I think you'd look more amazing without balancing all of those clothes. Whatever, I'm going to the dressing room to try them on, she protested. I simply sighed and shook my head. A woman shopping next to me saw our interaction and laughed. I know how it is. I have a teenage daughter who acts just like that. She's in the changing room right now, she said. Yeah, well, that's teenagers for you, I responded. If you don't mind me asking, what's your daughter's name? It's Maylin. She just turned 14. Well, maybe she'd get along with my sister, I laughed. After a few minutes, a young girl who I assumed to be the woman's daughter returned from the dressing room and walked out of the store with her mother. I bid her farewell as she left, slightly disappointed that Mia had taken her sweet time. But that was Mia for you. We could be running an hour late, and yet she would still be getting ready in the bathroom. Nothing made her hurry. When we crossed the street, I'd always be as courteous as I could, lightly jogging on the road. Meanwhile, my sister would lag behind, her eyes buried in her phone as she walked. I snapped my attention back to reality and realized that Mia still hadn't returned. Only one other person was shopping in the store, so I took the time to enjoy the quiet. A soft ring of pop music played from an overhead speaker, further adding to the spunky atmosphere. People conversed outside at cafe tables, happily sipping caffeinated drinks and typing away on laptops. Children begged their mothers to take them to the toy stores, the ones that flash vibrant rainbow colors. It was a type of feeling that only busy malls could produce. I'd always found solace in the feeling, and the abundance of happiness. Maybe that's why I agreed to come here so often, whether I purchased something or not. Maybe it wasn't my sister's bribes or complaints, but simply the touch of joy I felt when visiting, especially during the holidays, when festive lights would twinkle and shine, and the merry laughs of people of all ages rang in my ears. It allowed me to experience an absence of stress, at least for a short time, as I browsed the catalogs of brands and products. I hadn't come here in a while, as life got too complicated too fast, and I suddenly came to the realization that things were about to go downhill. No more frequent mall visits, no more enjoying the weekends with friends or hanging out after school. I never got a break. And I knew that as soon as I stepped foot into my house once again, fear would take over. When I was at the mall, I never wanted to go home. I hated home. The plastered blue walls, the wooden porch outside, the frosted glass windows. It made me sick. I could count every crack in the floors, every piece of trash in the garbage, every portrait on the mantle, because God help me, I was obsessed. I thought that if I memorized every little detail of every room, that I might just feel something towards that wretched place. But I didn't. I returned my focus to the neon store in which I stood, waiting for my sister. Only about 30 minutes had passed, when in reality it felt like hours. I tried to prepare a faux complaint for when she returned, just to get a rise out of her, but the buzz of conversations outside distracted me. I felt at peace once again, lost in the world of the mall. When all of a sudden, in the midst of the happy shoppers and the light chatter of civilians, I heard it. We all heard it. A dreadful siren, a high-pitched ring that vibrated within my ears. Goosebumps arose on my arms and legs. The mood in the air shifted. Looking outside the glass of the small store, blurs of people flickered within view, except they were screaming and shoving each other. This was no longer a mall. It was a war zone. "Please, I lost my son. Somebody please help," a young woman shouted to no one in particular, trying to just get anyone's attention. Mia came running out of the dressing room, still wearing her try-on outfit, the navy blue tag clashing with the colors of her top. "Will somebody care to tell me what the hell is going on?" "There's a bomb in the building. You should get out of here," a woman yelled into the store. With those words, it was as if life itself flipped upside down. Time froze. I could hear my heart beating. My legs went stiff. My blood ran cold. I felt as if in that moment I could hear the bomb ticking away, counting down the seconds to my inevitable demise. The running stampede outside grew larger by the second. On instinct, I grabbed Mia's wrist and sprinted towards the entrance of the shop. We had no other option than to become one with the crowd. And so, I ran in synchrony with the strangers around me. Left foot, right foot. Heels clicked against heels on the hard-tiled floors. Left foot, right foot. My body rocked back and forth from the constant shoving. Left foot, right foot. It was hard to move, but I had to push forward. Left foot, right foot, I told myself. As I ran, the only thing I could think of was how badly I wanted to go home. I wanted to eat my mom's homemade ravioli. I wanted to hear my sister rant to me about school. So why? Why did I hate that place so much? Why would I ever want to be anywhere else than home? My chest ached. My lungs yearned for air. My hands burned from gripping my sister so tightly. But none of that mattered now. We had one goal. We had to escape. With each step, my life flashed before my eyes. The first time I tried ice cream, Mia winning the national talent show, my dad teaching me how to ride a bike, all the way up until today. I had finally made a new friend, Eliana. Now she was probably getting slammed onto these cold mall floors by the raging stampede. Knowing that the bomb could go off at any moment now was just enough motivation to keep me going. It fueled my burning adrenaline. It gave me a purpose. Left foot, right foot. Mia pushed through behind me as I gave her a subtle over-the-shoulder glance. Her unbought t-shirt was still as prominent as ever. If we weren't in a dire situation, I would have been jealous of her, because somehow she still made running for her life look good. "Hey, look at it this way. If we escape, you get a free shirt," I yelled over the commotion. I know it probably wasn't the most appropriate thing to say at that time, but we both needed a light-hearted joke. She forced a smile. "Then let's hope we make it out alive." Finally, we reached the escalator to the first floor. It had been disabled. Going down was a challenge with the swarm of people, yet I still held on to Mia. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. I don't know what happened after that. We ran faster than ever on the ground level. The exit was just within our reach. My hands were sweating, my grasp on Mia loosened. The weight I was holding suddenly lightened, and before I knew it, she was gone, lost in the crowd. I let go of my sister. I had forced her into the sea of bodies. But I couldn't stop running. I couldn't yell out her name. I couldn't turn around. I had to keep moving. Mia or no Mia. My stomach wrenched, but there was no time to feel guilty. There was no time to look behind me. I was mentally paralyzed with fear, unable to stop myself. My survival instincts kicked in. I was on autopilot. I sucked up my impending tears and hoped for the best, that she was still okay. I blocked out the possibility that she had fallen, gotten crushed by the feet of those who fled in fear. I didn't know. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know anything. I just wanted to get out, to survive. Finally, I saw the exit in front of me. One at a time, please, one at a time. Security guards and police stopped the flow of traffic, making people file out in pairs. I was right there. I could see the light pouring in from outside. I heard ambulances in the parking lot. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. My escape was right there. All I saw was a flash, and then I collapsed to the ground. Flying debris hit me in the head, and warm blood rushed down my back. A burning sensation of death washed over me. I let myself give up. I surrendered to the feeling. My last thoughts were of my home, my sister, my mom. My final thoughts, my last memories, and then I felt myself die. That's chapter 1. If you enjoyed it, then consider buying 40 Days, available on Amazon. If you go to the link in my link tree, or if you look up Morgan DeVivo 40 Days on Amazon, you should be able to find it. So, thank you so much for watching and listening.